communities across the country.
An illegal trip to a billionaire's island, the SNC-Lavalin scandal, $1 million to friends at the We charity, and a 3-year cover-up of sexual misconduct allegations in the Canadian Armed Forces, and now stories about hundreds of thousands of dollars of contract to one of the Prime Minister's closest personal friends. Under his leadership, ethics investigations have to be numbered, Mr. Speaker. The day the Prime Minister's third judgment came out, Bill Morneau's second came out. Leadership starts at the top, so I want to ask leader to leader, does the Prime Minister feel that his personal ethical conduct sets a bad example for the members of Parliament on his team?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that in the midst of a global pandemic, in the midst of challenges Canadians are facing, whether it's climate change, which the Conservative Party continues to deny, whether it's systemic racism, which Conservative Party continues to deny, or supports for Canadians, which Conservatives are going to be voting against in the upcoming budget vote, they have been focused more on political, partisan attacks and personal attacks than they have on supporting Canadians. Leadership is about being there for Canadians, and that is something that we have done from the very beginning. We said we'd have Canadians' backs through this pandemic. That's exactly what we've had. We will have their backs as we move forward and beyond this pandemic to build back better.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Personal attacks, Mr. Speaker? All I'm asking is for the Prime Minister of Canada to follow the law. Is it too much now, after 6 years, that I ask the leader of this country to simply obey the laws of this country? The only backs he has had, Mr. Speaker, consistently as Prime Minister are those of friends of his family, of close insiders, and connected lobbyists. There's one lineup for the friends of the Prime Minister on the Liberal list, and there's another lineup for everyday Canadians who are struggling. It's time to restore accountability. Will the Prime Minister commit to never again break the law?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, we see what Conservatives are focused on. We see that they're focused on personal attacks, on partisan attacks, on spreading mud as broadly as they can to try and see what sticks, while we on this side of the House stay focused on supports for Canadians, on delivering the necessary supports for students, for seniors, for workers, on being there for small businesses with the CEBA, with the wage subsidy, on making sure that Canadians are properly supported through this pandemic and into the recovery, while at the same time Conservatives kept screaming at us every step of the way that we were spending.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, it's sad when the Prime Minister refers to 3 reports, investigations issued by the Ethics Commissioner of this country as throwing mud. Those were investigations into the conduct of the Prime Minister. He's failed time after time on an ethical standard. Canadians want leadership. They want accountability. He's now forcing his MPs to pay his friend's company, Mr. Speaker. He's now putting his unethical conduct at the core of the Liberal government. Canadians deserve accountability, transparency, and ethics. That is what they will get from a Conservative government.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians want politicians to be focused on them, on their needs, and that's what we've done every step of the way. The Conservative Party never looks further than an opportunity to attack, to break down, to undermine, and to spread baseless allegations. We instead will do as we've always done, which is roll up our sleeves and do the hard work of being there for Canadians, of getting through this historic pandemic and building back better so that everyone has a real and fair chance to succeed. Let him continue to focus on me, Mr. Speaker. I'll continue to focus on Canadians.